All right, so today we're going to tackle this pretty big question about Nvidia.
Yeah.
Is it really a forever stock?
Mm-hmm.
We've got this article from the Motley Fool making the case for why it would be a good long-term investment.
Okay.
And frankly, even I'm kind of curious to unpack this a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nvidia's obviously had some
Yeah.
incredible growth.
Yeah.
But to say forever, that's a pretty bold claim.
Yeah, it is a bold claim, and to really understand it, we need to look beyond just the growth and look more into, why Nvidia is positioned the way they are. And I think the key here is the AI revolution.
Okay.
That's not just like a buzzword you hear.
Right.
It's reshaping entire industries.
Right. And Nvidia is essentially supplying the picks and shovels in this gold rush.
So it's more than just their stock being up over 2,000% in the past 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, that's obviously a very impressive number.
Yes, those returns are a result of the position that they're in.
Okay.
Think of it this way.
AI requires massive computing power to function, right?
Mm.
And NVIDIA's GPUs are uniquely suited for that.
Okay.
They're really good at parallel processing.
Yeah.
So handling tons of data all at the same time, which is exactly what AI needs to be able to crunch through these very complex algorithms.
Okay, so they've got the hardware.
Yeah.
But this article also talks about their dominance in data centers.
Right.
And isn't that market going to be worth like $400 billion by 2030?
Yeah. It's massive.
It's hard to even grasp.
Yeah, it's massive.
That much money.
And here's the kicker.
Okay.
They hold about 80% market share.
Wow.
In data center chips.
Okay.
And that's not by accident.
Right.
They've built what you might call a moat from their business.
Mm-hmm.
So think back to the early days of parallel computing.
Okay.
Nvidia was there. They were laying the groundwork.
Right.
And their CUDA software platform became kind of an industry standard.
Right.
And now developers are really deeply embedded in that ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it really hard for competitors to come in and try to catch up.
Right.
It's almost like trying to get everyone to switch from Microsoft Word to some entirely new system overnight.
Yeah, it's sticky.
Right. It's
very sticky.
Yeah, once you're in it, you're in it.
You're in it.
So being an early adopter and then creating that software ecosystem really gave him this huge head start.
Absolutely.
But this article dives a lot deeper than just chips, right? It's saying that NVIDIA isn't just about graphics anymore.
Right.
So where are they branching out into?
Well, that's actually one of the most fascinating parts of this whole thing.
Okay.
They're recognizing that to stay on top, you can't just be the best at GPUs forever.
Right.
So they're expanding into networking software development tools.
Okay.
Even things like robotics.
Yeah.
And this is smart for a couple reasons.
Mm-hmm.
First, it opens up new markets without really hurting their core business at all.
Okay.
So it's like, let's say you're the best baker in town, right?
So you start selling coffee too.
Okay.
People still love your bread, but now they're coming for more.
Right.
So
It makes sense kind of cater to the whole customer there.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
But what's this about robotics?
Yeah.
I thought that was more like Boston Dynamics thing.
Well, you're right. Robotics is definitely a very crowded field.
Yeah.
But NVIDIA is approaching it from a point of strength.
Okay.
And that strength is AI.
Okay.
So to navigate complex environments, robots need to process information in real time, make decisions.
Right.
That's where NVIDIA's high-performance computing comes in.
Okay.
They're essentially providing the brains for these machines,
Interesting.
not just the mechanical parts.
So they're not just riding the AI wave, they're building the surfboard.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
That's pretty good. But this article also mentions something about investments in AI startups.
Right.
What's the strategy behind that?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They're not just making products. They're placing strategic bets on the future of AI.
Okay.
So companies like Applied Digital, which optimizes data centers, serve robotics doing autonomous deliveries,
Okay.
even Recursion Pharmaceuticals using AI for drug discovery.
Wow.
These aren't random picks.
So they're getting like a peek into where AI is going, but also kind of shaping it by like backing the players that they think are going to win.
Exactly. It's like having a scout team far ahead reporting back on the most promising terrain, but then also helping to clear the path for, the main army to follow. So
It's a pretty clever strategy, I gotta admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty clever strategy, I gotta admit. But let's talk about one of those investments specifically.
Okay.
Because this one really stood out to me. Recursion Pharmaceuticals. What's so special about them?
Yeah, so Recursion is a great example of how AI is like revolutionizing these fields beyond what we typically think of, right?
Okay.
So they're using AI to accelerate drug discovery,
Okay.
which obviously has huge implications for like everyone. I mean, imagine a world where, developing life-saving treatments only takes a fraction of the time and the cost
Right.
that it does now.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I mean, we all know somebody, right, who's been impacted by disease in some way.
Of course.
So to be able to speed up that research process,
Yeah.
that could be like a total game changer.
Absolutely.
But this all sounds incredibly expensive, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't even talked about the elephant in the room, which
Mhm.
is Nvidia's stock price.
Right.
The article mentions that it's not exactly cheap.
Yeah, you're right. Valuation is definitely something that we can't ignore.
Mm-hmm.
Their forward PE ratio is pretty high. It's sitting around 31.7.
Okay.
To put that in perspective, the market average is significantly lower.
Right.
So essentially, investors are paying a premium
Okay.
for each dollar of Nvidia's earnings.
Right.
But the question is why?
Yeah. So break it down for me. Like, why are investors willing to shell out so much for a piece of Nvidia?
I think it really boils down to confidence.
Oh.
Investors are betting on Nvidia's future. And that future is very much intertwined with the future of AI.
Okay.
Remember what we talked about earlier with their dominance in data centers and the strategic investments they're making?
Right.
Those moves signal that they're not just along for the ride.
Right.
They are driving this AI revolution.
Okay, so even though the price tag seems really high now, the idea is that you're buying into a company that could potentially reshape entire industries.
Precisely. And the article even calls it a, quote, generational investment opportunity.
Wow.
Now, obviously, no one can predict the future with absolute certainty.
Sure.
But you can see the logic there, right?
All right.
Their market dominance, their very forward-thinking strategy, and just the sheer potential of AI. It all contributes to that sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about today's profits.
Right.
It's about where they'll be in 5, 10, 20 years down the line.
That makes sense. But, I mean, every investor hopes for that kind of long-term success.
Right.
So what makes NVIDIA different?
Well, I think their track record is a big one.
Okay.
They haven't just talked the talk. They've actually delivered.
Right.
But beyond that, it's about how integral they are to the entire AI ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
From the hardware to the software, the partnerships, the investments. They're not just in one little niche.
Right.
They're touching practically every aspect of how AI is being developed and deployed.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
But even with all of this, I got to ask, what about the risks?
Sure.
I mean, technology moves so fast.
Absolutely.
And today's leader can very quickly become tomorrow's, blockbuster.
Yeah.
So is there anything that could potentially derail NVIDIA's success?
Yeah. I mean, you bring up a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, no investment is without risk.
Right.
And tech companies especially face these really unique challenges, right? The landscape can shift so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
New competitors can seemingly come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And even user preferences, they can change the entire game overnight.
Absolutely. So while NVIDIA's position seems incredibly strong right now, it's not a guarantee of anything in the future.
Exactly. And I think that's crucial for anyone considering making an investment, to stay informed.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research and understand that past performance doesn't guarantee future returns.
That's a really good reminder for all of us.
Yeah.
But kind of stepping back from the purely financial side of things here,
Yeah.
what stood out to you most in all of this?
Honestly, I think it's the sheer scope of NVIDIA's impact.
Okay.
We often think of companies as operating within, one specific industry.
Right.
But their technology has the potential to touch so many aspects of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
like healthcare, transportation, entertainment, the way we work and learn.
Yeah.
It's all being influenced by AI, and NVIDIA is right at the center of it all.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of mind-blowing to think about those ripple effects.
It really is.
And that kind of brings us back to that big, bold question.
Yeah.
Is NVIDIA a forever stock?
Well, I mean, no one has a crystal ball, right? But if AI truly is, the defining technology of this century, like many experts believe,
Mm-hmm.
then I think they're in a fantastic position to be a major player for many years to come.
And that's something that I really want you, our listener, to think about.
Yeah.
So after this deep dive into NVIDIA, what's your take?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see them as this company that's going to continue to innovate and lead?
Yeah.
Or are there potential challenges that give you pause?
It's a question that I think deserves some serious thought.
Yeah.
because the implications go way beyond just, looking at a stock price on a screen.
Right.
This is about understanding the forces that are shaping our world.
And as you think about that, let's take it one step further.
Yeah.
If AI truly eyes the future,
What role could Nvidia play in your life beyond just its stock price?
yeah, it's easy to get caught up in like the numbers and the market predictions and all that, but
Right.
this goes deeper than that.
Absolutely.
Think about the areas that AI is already touching. Healthcare, transportation, how we entertain ourselves, even the way we learn and work.
Right.
NVIDIA's technology is powering a lot of those advancements.
Imagine a world with personalized medicine tailored to your specific genetic makeup, all thanks to AI-powered drug discovery.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Or picture self-driving cars just navigating our cities, making commutes safer, more efficient.
Absolutely.
Even the way we create art and music is evolving with AI. It's like opening up these whole new realms of creative possibilities.
It really is.
These are just like glimpses into the future that NVIDIA is helping to build.
Yeah.
It's exciting, sure,
Right.
but it can also feel a bit daunting, right? Like,
do.
where do we even fit into all of this?
Well, I think that's the beauty of it, though.
Okay,
We all get to be a part of this,
Yeah.
whether it's, as investors deciding where to put our money,
right.
or simply as, engaged citizens just trying to understand the forces that are shaping the world around us.
And that's what I love about these deep dives. It's not just about, crunching numbers or following the stock market.
Right.
It's about exploring these ideas,
Mm-hmm.
considering different angles, and just becoming more informed about the forces that are shaping all of our lives.
Exactly. It's about asking those big questions
Yeah.
and challenging ourselves to think beyond just the headlines.
Absolutely. So as you go about your day today, keep an eye out for the subtle ways that AI is already influencing things.
Yeah.
That self-driving delivery robot you see on the street,
Right.
the personalized recommendations you get online,
Mm-hmm.
the medical breakthroughs that you read about.
Yeah.
NVIDIA is probably playing a role in all that behind the scenes.
You're likely.
Yeah. Well, we hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on NVIDIA and the power of AI.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a very complex topic,
Mm-hmm.
but one that I think deserves all of our attention.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those big questions coming.
Bye.
Because that's what makes life a truly deep dive.